Calhoun, LA Daily News. Question for either one. Coming off of last year and the way the World Cup ended, what's been the overall attitude of the group as you guys prepare for this tournament?
You want me to grab that, or you want to grab that?
You can go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are solely, focused on what's actually happening right now. That's the best way to go through a tournament. So we are ecstatic to be here, ecstatic to be together. Like I said earlier, just trying to squeeze everything we can out of this precious time that we have together. The energy and the vibe has been excellent. It's the most amount of time we've had in training together. And I'm proud to say that we're capitalizing on that very well. And I really am looking forward to watching us play.
Yeah, I think as Twila said, anytime we have in camp is so valuable. And as players now, a lot of us coming off of an off season, it's just like a new energy. We feel refreshed. And I think we're all just so excited to have time together in training and also have these really good games together.
Good afternoon, Coach and Naomi. Mauricio Duque from La Hora del FPC. Well, the same question for both. I want to ask if you think that the United States national team has the obligation to be champion of of this first edition of the Women's World Cup. Thank you.
I think we have an obligation to be at our very best, and we believe that we're one of the best teams in the world, that's something that we strive to demonstrate every single day. And we know that there's plenty of worthy opponents here, that every game is going to be a major task, and we feel that we're up to the challenge. And of course, we have the internal expectation that we perform our very best every single game.
Yeah, I would say we go into every tournament wanting to perform our best and get results in every game. And I think it's important we take it one game at a time and we just continue to grow and build on our performances. And I think it's just such a valuable time for us to be together and have this long period to really develop and mesh as a team under Twila.
Hello, Abraham Zapata for San Diego Puerto Football. Twila, could you speak a little bit to what it means to play some teams outside of the CONCACAF region like Argentina? And then for Naomi, you were voted the best women's soccer player in the US last year. Could you talk about what you plan on doing to keep improving and keep continuing that excellence this year?
Yeah, we respect all of our opponents, our CONCACAF opponents, and obviously we have teams from South America joining us. Eight teams together between those two groups that participate in the World Cup, 4 that will be competing in the Olympics if you include us. And we're just excited for the opportunity to play a variety of different types of opponents that will create these really important games for us to continue to develop, to continue to test ourselves, and to prove the steps that we're taking are headed in the right direction.
And yeah, it was an honor to be given that award. And I think for me, it's just important to continue developing the relationships with players around me and continuing to develop my game as a player and as a leader. And I don't think I would have been given that award without the rest of the back line, without the goalkeepers, without all of us working together as a unit. So I think just continuing to build that with all of us is what's really important.
More for Twila. How are you? I mean, coming home for you to lead the U.S. into this tournament, starting in Southern California. What kind of excitement is that for you to be in charge as you guys start off 2024?
Yeah, I think it's an honor anytime you get to wear this crest in any capacity, and to fulfill the role I'm in right now is just such a great opportunity to come home. I'm from Los Angeles, has been amazing. One of my club coaches surprised us at training the other day, and I got a little emotional because it's a little bit of a full circle moment for me. I think this is a great city that loves football. I hope that everyone will come out and support us and enjoy some really good games, and just really proud to be here.
For Naomi, the domestic players such as yourself are coming off of the off season, kind of in preseason mode. And I'm wondering in what ways might that impact you guys, and where do you feel like you are in you're gearing up for this year?
Yeah, I think a lot of us who are in preseason have been building for this tournament. I think that has been our focus when we've been at club, and then coming into camp, I think there's been an emphasis on building us up to be, ready for match minutes and to be ready to compete in a tournament. And I think for us, there's no better way to start off the year than playing in the Gold Cup and getting those minutes together and getting those reps in and training together.
We're now moving on to the media who has joined us virtually. Jonathan, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Thank you. Hi, Twila, Jonathan Tannenwald of the Philadelphia Inquirer here. I hope you can hear me all right. Maybe you can give me a thumbs up or something. Thank you. Since Naomi's sitting next to you, I know you talked about the expectations for your team in the tournament. I was wondering if you could talk about the expectations for Naomi specifically and how much you expect her to have. Thank you.
Well, first of all, nobody could have higher expectations for Naomi than Naomi herself. She is an absolute professional and obviously a very tremendous player who brings just a level of professionalism, intensity, and also kindness to everything she does with her team. And we expect more of the same things from her in matches and continuing to work on specific tactical areas that we've been in as a team and to help kickstart those moments for us. But Nay has been heading towards, just being her full version of herself, and that includes being a leader in this group. And I expect that not only will we see great play, but we'll continue to see great leadership from the position that she's in.
Andrew Jones, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Thank you very much, Andrew Jones of Believe Network. 2 questions for Naomi, and congratulations again on being U.S. Player of the Year last year. Wanted to ask you, how did you enjoy your Euro tour going to London and Madrid? What was your favorite part of your off season? And we learned that Twila was a big Serena Williams fan when she attended one of your friendlies in December. Is there anything else of Twila that you learned about her over the course of your time with the national team? Thank you.
Can you repeat the second one?
Yeah.
Yes. Is there was anything else that you learned about Twila besides her being a quality manager in your time in the national team? Thank you.
No pressure.
Okay, the first one, my off season. Yeah, I traveled a little bit. It was great, and I got to spend good time with my family and friends, which we don't get to do for a lot of the year, especially during a World Cup year. So that was great to just have time with family and get back into training and things. As far as Twila, I'm trying to think of a new thing that I've learned. I will say that I feel like you like the like the just like the funny YouTube videos and those things. Like I feel like you always have good references of like,
Oh,
oh,
thanks,
this
Nay.
reminds me of like this funny video or this like funny meme. Yeah, we're continuing to learn more and more about Twila every day.
We're now moving on to Orlando. Orlando, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Gracias. Buenas tardes para todos. Buenas tardes para Twila y para Noemí. Una pregunta para cada una. Para Twila, ¿qué tanta presión va a haber para ustedes por ser una de las mejores selecciones del mundo para esta primera Copa Oro femenil? Y para Noemí, ¿qué tan complicado va a ser este grupo que está México, Argentina y República Dominicana? Y el partido mañana contra Dominicana, ¿cómo jugarle a este equipo caribeño?
So one of the things that we talk about is pressure is a privilege, something very consistent in our program, and we welcome pressure. It's something that we feel we perform best under, we're excited about. And so of course it's there, but we enjoy that and we're up for the challenge.
Yeah, I think going off of that, our group being the Dominican Republic, Argentina, and Mexico, all great opponents. I think that does bring pressure, and like Twila said, that's a privilege. And in our first match against the Dominican, I think just making sure we go out and just set the tone for the tournament and play a good game and try to mitigate some of their risks and try to hurt them and be dangerous will be a focus for us. And yeah, I think this group is going to be good for us to kind of get that experience playing 3 different types of teams and hopefully progressing through the tournament.
Kyle, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate everybody's time. Kyle Bond from the Sporting News here. Coach, one question for each of you. Coach, what is the line of communication like with Emma throughout this tournament, and how is she sort of involved in the process throughout? And Naomi, I know that you're pretty well established in your spot, but next to you, there are a couple of questions. How do you navigate? You don't get a ton of time at the national team level to begin with. How do you sort of navigate gelling with a partner when things can kind of be a little bit more uncertain?
So we've kind of outlined this quite a bit, but Em and I are working together while we're doing 2 separate jobs so that we can come together and make sure that we have a really smooth transition leading into the Olympics. So she is at Chelsea competing in several different types of competitions, and I'm here handling the day-to-day. We do talk quite a bit and share ideas and support for one another in the areas that we're working on. I do expect that we'll have some interaction with her as a team during this tournament as we look forward to the future. But it's been really good, and we're just handling the day-to-day here and enjoying it, making sure we take everything we can from it and solely focus on what we're doing here.
Yeah, and I think as far as the back line, I feel like we have certain principles and tactics that we're taught, and I think throughout last year we had a lot of different pairings that we saw, and I think it's the same this year. It's just making sure that we fill in, we know what we're expected to do, and we're executing that role. So I think even though there will be rotations and there's different combinations that you see, I think just having a clear picture of what we should bring to the team makes it easy to mesh no matter who you're playing with.
Evan, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Hi, Evan Davis from Equalizer Soccer. Twila, you had the team experiment with a back 3 system playing against China in December. Wondering if that is something that you guys are continuing to develop, and more broadly, how you and Emma are sort of talking about what the best tactical or systemic fit might be for this particular group.
So as we compete and we're looking to compete against other teams, I think that's more information for us and our squad to keep in-house and let other teams figure these things out. We're really pleased with the different wrinkles that we've kind of been implementing as we go, and hopefully there'll be more for discussion, but just not with us at this particular point in time. And yeah, I think that this is a group that's capable of a lot of different types of tactical flexibility, and we look forward to different tests that will require different things and different solutions from us.
Jeff, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Thank you. Jeff Kassouf with Equalizer. Twila, you mentioned the cadence of this tournament mimicking the Olympics, and I'm wondering maybe what you can share of how you kind of plan that and see that playing out. Is that you've got a plan, you want to see how a core group can react to the quick turnarounds, or is that maybe the rotation that you might expect? What might that look like in terms of personnel selection?
Yeah, personnel selection is driven by quite a few things. Number one, it's putting us in position that we feel that we can compete to win. It's making sure that we have, I think someone alluded to this earlier, we have some players that are coming from the middle of their season, and we have some that are coming from preseason, and making sure that we're fresh and ready to peak towards the end of the tournament. And then, of course, for everybody in the squad, whether it's staff, players, and even our large surrounding group that's supporting us, just making sure that we're doing those turnovers that you just spoke about very quickly, and it's an opportunity for the players to show that they can take on information and apply it back to back to back to back, even if it's against different opponents, and a very quick turnaround.